Sales of Apple's smartphones in China have decreased in the third quarter, but sales of the iPhone 16 originally increased by 20% in the first 3 weeks when compared to the iPhone 15. This trend swiftly changed, however, since the new iPhone 16 series is now significantly discounted on key Chinese e-commerce sites. The 512GB capacity iPhone 16 Plus from PPD Holdings Pinduoduo is now available for $8,999, which is 10% less than its original price of $99,999. The 11% reduction was much more pronounced for the 128GB iPhone 16 model. The price of the expensive iPhone iONI 16 Pro Max has also been significantly reduced by 400 UN to 9,599 UN on Alibaba-owned marketplaces including Pinduoduo and Alibaba Group Holdings. For the high-end PR Max model, which typically holds its price point the longest, this is especially noteworthy. A new Apple phone may also be purchased via Alibaba's Tmall shopping site in 24 interest-free payments, increasing the device's accessibility for budget-conscious users. Tmall will begin providing a $500 when $70 coupon for all iPhone 16 models, according to Apple Insider, in addition to an additional trade-in subsidy of up to 1,100 won, $154. With a comparable price decrease and a free year of AppleCare larger for standard and larger models, JD.com has also joined the bargain trend. One of the main reasons for Apple's drop in the Chinese market has been the iPhone 16's lack of AI capabilities. Next month, Apple intends to introduce its AI system in the US in English, and by December, it will be available in other English-speaking countries. Customer interest has been greatly harmed by the delay in adding support for Chinese. With sales of the top-end Pro and Pro Max models up 44% over their counterparts from the previous year, Huawei's Pro and Pro Max models have shown impressive performance. This suggests that the high-end market niche is still comparatively strong even if total demand may be declining. Due to a decline in older model purchases and increased competition from Huawei's Mate and Pure Phone series, year-over-year sales of all iPhone models have decreased by 2% over the last 3 weeks. This change in market share implies a fundamental shift in customer preferences rather than merely price or feature changes. Leading the technology sector, Huawei is renowned for its quick feature and capability development and rollout. In order to guarantee that its goods are freely available across China, the firm has established an amazing distribution network. Customers' confidence and loyalty have grown as a result of this accessibility and excellent after-sales support. When confronted with global constraints, Huawei's dedication to creating a complete technology ecosystem that lessens reliance on foreign suppliers has evolved from a strategic necessity into a competitive advantage. Huawei has made significant investments to develop autonomous capabilities, including chip design and operating systems. Chinese customers, who value the company's tenacity and inventiveness, find great resonance in this independence. Instead of just developing an Android substitute, their Harmony OS operating system exemplifies this approach. Huawei created a platform that functions flawlessly on a variety of gadgets, such as smartphones, tablets, smart TVs, and more. A compelling ecosystem is produced by this integration, which keeps customers interested in Huawei goods. Additionally, the business has developed a robust network of regional partners and suppliers, which not only guarantees a steady supply chain but also stimulates innovation throughout China's tech industry. Huawei's marketing approach demonstrates a thorough comprehension of Chinese consumer psychology and has effectively established the company as a source of pride for the country. By emphasizing their contribution to China's technical progress or demonstrating how the gadgets improve everyday life, their marketing strategies speak to local ideals and ambitions. Huawei's awareness of local market needs is shown by the introduction of devices like the Mate X-T. The newest Huawei model, the Mate X-T, which is a trifold phone that can fold 3 ways and supports several windows open at once, is a competitor to Apple's iPhone 16, which is currently available in shops in China. But according to scalpers outside of Apple stores, the Pro Max was the best iPhone 16 phone in the range, and online orders were 2 to 3 weeks behind schedule. Chinese authorities have yet to license Apple's AI service, and Huawei is up against Chinese rivals like Huawei. With 6.8 million pre-orders, Huawei intends to release the Mate X-T in international regions in the first quarter of next year. The Harmony OS, on which Huawei is built, presents difficulties as well, albeit the firm has not disclosed its manufacturing or delivery figures. To sum up, Huawei has been a pioneer in the technology sector, emphasizing independence, innovation, and a strong presence in the Chinese market. Nonetheless, the business has trouble holding onto its market share and adjusting to the rapidly evolving IT sector. In the smartphone industry, artificial intelligence, AI, has grown in importance, especially in China, where users value AI-powered capabilities for everyday chores. Consumer behavior has been greatly impacted by the geopolitical environment. For example, tensions between the US and China have changed how Chinese customers see technology purchases. Concerns about data privacy have grown in importance as worries about foreign meddling increase, while Huawei emerges as a symbol of resilience and patriotism. Apple should focus on developing and implementing Chinese language AI capabilities as quickly as possible, rethinking its premium pricing model, and forming smart local partnerships to forge closer ties with Chinese customers and companies. The absence of AI capabilities, price sensitivity, and the rising desire for homegrown companies with strong local links for Huawei are the primary drivers moving Chinese customers away from the iPhone, and these actions effectively address these issues. The future seems bright, but Huawei has to strike a balance between remaining ahead of the curve technologically and adhering to rules, and it needs to be wary of any international tension-related blowback. The rivalry between Apple and Huawei is a reflection of greater shifts in geopolitical relations, consumer tastes, and technical innovation. The outcome of this market battle has the potential to change the face of the global smartphone industry because both domestic and foreign manufacturers' success in the Chinese market will depend on their capacity to integrate cutting-edge AI features, adjust to local market conditions, and negotiate challenging geopolitical environments. The creation of two deep ultraviolet DUV lithography machines, one of which can produce chips as small as 8 nanometers, is a major advancement in semiconductor technology, according to a recent announcement from China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, MIIT. The statement was made in conjunction with the MIIT's new list of important technical devices. The MIIT signaled a move towards more independence in semiconductor manufacturing by urging local chip companies to employ these devices. Experts are still dubious about the importance of this purported discovery, however. The newly revealed lithography equipment are still 15 years behind the most sophisticated lithography machines in use worldwide, according to Leslie Wu, CEO of consultancy company RHCC. With over 100,000 pieces per machine and assembly taking place in ultra-clean facilities that are 10,000 times cleaner than air shipment, ASML technology is very sophisticated. China has had restricted access to ASML's most sophisticated technologies because of export restrictions. The Dutch government ceased issuing permits for the export of ASML's most sophisticated DUV immersion lithography equipment to China on January 1, 2024. Given that China is ASML's third largest market and accounted for 15% of the company's 2021 sales, which were valued at around $2.5 billion in the first half of 2023, this limitation is noteworthy. In conclusion, the AI component has grown in importance in the smartphone market, and Apple and Huawei are having a hard time changing the face of the global smartphone market. The Dutch government's limitations on certain ASM licenses may impede China's advanced chip manufacturing capabilities. But in reaction to these limitations, the Dutch government is probably not going to renew certain ASM licenses to operate, according to Bloomberg sources. Chinese businesses have been working harder to create their own chip manufacturing technologies and innovate. With an emphasis on extreme ultraviolet UV radiation generators and lithography equipment, Shanghai Microelectronics Equipment, SME, the top manufacturer of lithography equipment in China, submitted a patent application for an EUV chip tool in March 2023. With the ultimate objective of producing EUV lithography tools that can make chips on advanced process technologies like 7 nanometers, 5 nanometers, and even 3 nanometers, the business has ambitious intentions to showcase a 28 nanometers capable system in 2023. Fudan University's reported success in creating 8 nanometers chips without EUV lithography is especially noteworthy since it has the potential to lessen China's reliance on foreign businesses and change the technological landscape globally. But it also has drawbacks, such as the need for ongoing infrastructure development and investment to accommodate this new technology. Since smaller transistors can fit onto a chip, leading to quicker processing speeds and greater energy efficiency. The significance of nanometer scale in transistors cannot be understated. Smaller transistors can turn on and off faster, enabling more operations per second and using less power. This is important for battery-operated devices, like as laptops and smartphones, that deal with components smaller than most viruses at the 8 nanometer scale. This degree of minimization enables amazing processing capacity in minuscule devices, propelling developments in fields like quantum computing, 5G networks, and artificial intelligence. The US government is actively working to halt China's advancements in semiconductors, creating a complicated geopolitical backdrop for these achievements. The Trump administration started this campaign in 2019 and has persisted in putting pressure on allies to adopt limitations, including Japan and the Netherlands. Washington has been able to restrict sales of goods created anywhere in the globe as long as they incorporate even a little percentage of American technology, thanks to the US's effective negotiating tactic, the Foreign Direct Product Rule, FDPR. Global supply chains are being disrupted by the US-China high-tech competition, and there seems to be increasing pressure on important parties to choose a side. Christoph Fuck, the CEO of ASML, has voiced concerns over the reasons behind US export restrictions, arguing that they have shifted from national security to commercial considerations. He thinks there will be greater pushback as well as demand for limits since, in the corporate world, everyone wants stability and transparency. Since ASML's operations are directly impacted by significant limitations on shipping and equipment maintenance, these export restrictions have a significant effect on the firm. With multinational companies planning for the manufacture of 5 nanometers chips and working with Huawei to create Ascend 920i processors and Kirin chips for smartphones, China's semiconductor sector is driving advancements in semiconductor manufacturing. With yield rates less than a third of those of market leader TSMC and manufacturing costs 40 to 50% higher, China's semiconductor sector confronts formidable obstacles. Nevertheless, China has shown its will to develop domestic semiconductor technology in spite of export limitations by making notable strides in creating nanometer devices employing a variety of patterning methods using DUV lithography. With China spending historic sums on semiconductor equipment, $10.6 billion in the last 3 months of 2023 alone, the global semiconductor business is undergoing significant change. It is believed that this stockpiling is a calculated tactic to avoid any future US sanctions. As businesses look for alternatives to US goods, demand for Huawei's Ascend processors in China is rising as a result of the US's further tightening of export regulations, especially with regard to AI chips. The closest competitor to the most sophisticated processors made by US chipmaker Nvidia are Ascend chips, which are now manufactured using 7 nanometers technology. This change in demand is a result of both the effect of US limitations on the global semiconductor industry and the expanding capabilities of Chinese chip producers. By creating 8 nanometers chips without the use of intense ultraviolet lithography, China's Fudan University has accomplished something that many believed was impossible. China's aspirations to manufacture microchips have raised serious concerns for the US administration, but neither country has been able to get a vital equipment that is offered by the Dutch business ASML. In order to create the minuscule, accurate features needed for transistors that are 8 nanometers or smaller, ASML Crown Jewel employs light with a wavelength of just 13.5 nanometers to etch complex patterns into silicon wafers. ASML's EUV machines, which may cost up to $380 million and need a clean room atmosphere to function, are engineering wonders. With over 100,000 pieces, each EUV machine is put together in a facility that is 10,000 times cleaner than the air outdoors. 3 Boeing 747s and 20 trucks are needed to transport one of these giants in order to generate EUV light. China's success in creating 8 nanometers chips without the use of EUV lithography has important ramifications for the global semiconductor market, as it may lessen China's reliance on foreign firms and change the face of technology globally. But there are drawbacks to this accomplishment as well, such the need for ongoing funding and infrastructure development to support this new technology. The Dutch government's stance on ASML export restrictions is probably going to become more intense due to the geopolitical complexity surrounding semiconductor manufacture. The United States' export limitations on sophisticated deep ultraviolet (DUV) systems are posing serious problems for the Netherlands and the worldwide semiconductor sector. The Dutch government therefore halted issuing permits for the export of ASML's most sophisticated DUV variant lithography equipment, including the NXT:2000i, NX:2050y, and NXT:2100i, to China. These systems are essential for creating a variety of semiconductors, even if they are not as advanced as EUV machines. China has been expanding its semiconductor industry, producing computer chips that are essential to its economic and military strategies, but its tech aspirations have come to a standstill. ASML may lose access to crucial technologies required to produce the most cutting-edge semiconductors due to new regulations in the Netherlands. China is the third largest market for ASML, and a significant amount of its order backlog comes from Chinese businesses. China accounted for 15% of ASML's 2021 sales, which totaled almost $2.5 billion in the first half of 2024. An astounding 49% of ASML's sales came from China. Chinese CEO Christopher Fuck has voiced worries about the reasons for the US export restrictions, arguing that commercial considerations have replaced national security ones. Although he anticipates increased opposition, he also expects that pressure for limitations will increase. We all want some certainty and consistency as a company. Since ASML's operations are directly impacted by significant limitations on shipping and equipment maintenance, these export restrictions have a significant effect on the firm. State media channels have warned of possible reprisal, indicating that China has not kept mute in the face of these limitations. According to them, China may limit trade, look for other suppliers, and reconsider its collaboration with the Netherlands in broader international contexts. This approach will worsen the growing rift between the US, China, and the Netherlands if it is adopted by the Netherlands. China is stepping up its attempts to innovate and create its own chip fabrication technologies in response to these challenges. In an attempt to circumvent ASML export limits and maybe alter the rules completely, Shanghai Microelectronics Equipment, SM, the top manufacturer of lithography equipment in China, submitted a patent application for EUV chip tool in March 2023. The SSX600, the company's most sophisticated litho tool at the moment, is used for chips with processing technologies of 90, 110, and 280 nanometers. The Trump administration pushed the Dutch government to prevent shipments of ASML's most advanced machines to China in 2019, as part of the US government's vigorous attempts to slow down China's advancements in semiconductors. Pressing allies like the Netherlands and Japan to impose limitations using the Foreign Direct Product Rule, FDPR, the Biden administration has not shown any indications of relenting.